She carefully unwrapped her chest binder and lay down on the shared bedding. A man next to her rolled over, his arm landing on her. She quickly blocked it, no harm done, but sweat lined her brow. That night, her thoughts were heavy. Getting into the army camp was just the beginning. The real test lay ahead. Since childhood, she'd been gifted, swift, agile, able to leap onto rooftops. But neighbors saw her as improper. Her father urged her to hold back, to be ladylike so she could marry well. As an adult, she was forced into arranged matchmaking. She learned to paint her face, bind her waist, and walk with grace. But her untamed nature always surfaced, drawing scorn. Then came war. The Ruran invaded, and every able-bodied man was drafted, including her aging, crippled father. She couldn't bear to let him go. One night, she stole his armor and sword, and rode off in his place. When her father found the hairpin she left behind, he could only kneel at the shrine, praying for the phoenix to protect her. After days of travel, guided by a sign from the phoenix, she arrived at the military camp. To hide her identity, she bound her chest each morning and slipped into sleep only after the others snored. She bathed in secret by the river. Training was brutal, under the blazing sun, hauling water up hills, archery drills, but she endured in silence. Conversations about women left her tense and speechless. One day, a recruit taunted her. She finally snapped. With swift, clean moves, she took him down. The general saw everything. Later, he called her aside and told her not to restrain her strength. Encouraged, she stopped hiding so much. She carried water from mountain base to summit with ease, leaving her fellow recruits stunned. Then the enemy launched a surprise attack. New soldiers were thrown into battle. As she recited the oath, loyalty, courage, truth, guilt burned within her. She was still hiding. During a chase, she led her squad into a narrow valley, only to be confronted by a mysterious witch who saw through her disguise. The witch tried to tempt her to switch sides. She refused. The witch threw a blade. It hit her squarely in the chest, knocking her into the rock wall. She awoke in pain. Peeling off her armor, she realized the chest binder had saved her life. As she stared at her sword, something shifted. Loyalty and courage weren't enough. She had to be true. She tore off the armor, let down her hair. It flowed like wings. With fierce clarity in her eyes, she charged back into battle, not as someone in hiding, but as herself freed from disguise. She moved like lightning across the field. When catapults crushed their defenses, she mounted a horse, rode behind enemy lines to the snowfields, and fired arrows to lure their weapons around. The blast triggered an avalanche, burying the enemy and saving her comrades. When the battle calmed, she stepped forward as herself and confessed everything to the general. Shock rippled through the ranks. Bound by the code, the general exiled her. She left quietly, tears falling as the sun dipped low. The witch returned, this time with sympathy. She warned that the enemy's main force had already marched on the capital. The girl raced back to camp to warn them. Backed by her comrades, she led a small team to defend the city. Inside the palace, the witch guided her toward the emperor but was struck down by an arrow midway. With her last breath, she urged the girl to finish what they'd begun. The girl climbed to the palace tower and faced the enemy leader. During the fight, she dropped her father's sword, which melted into a pit of lava. Hopelessness crept in, but the emperor called out to her. Like a phoenix rising from ashes, she stood tall again. She disarmed the enemy, then fired a single arrow straight through his chest. After the battle, she refused any titles or rewards. She only wanted to go home. Back in her village, she embraced her father. She had become her family's pride. And when the phoenix once again soared across the sky, she knew her transformation was complete. From silence to voice, from disguise to truth, her legend had begun.